Hi, this is your regular Forex instructor Godwin Akujobi. So today I'll be talking on how to trade the news, which is still part of the fundamental analysis. Now, before I go ahead, note this: you can't trade profitably knowing only the fundamental analysis or knowing only the news without the technical analysis. And that's how it is too. You can't trade profitably knowing only the technical analysis without the fundamental analysis. Both of them work hand in hand, they shake hands together. Now, some of us will be like, oh, why must we trade news? Why do we need news? Yes, whether uptrend or downtrend, as you see on your chart, whether the market is moving up or down, the thing you see on the chart is driven by fundamental analysis, is driven by news. What makes a market to be bullish, that's in an uptrend, or what makes a market to be bearish, that's in a downtrend, is caused by news. Market is moved by news but respect technical analysis. So you must know the both, but for today it has to deal with the fundamental or how to trade news. Now what is this all about? Is using economic data to forecast or to set aside or to foresee the future, what could be the result or the outcome, the strength or the weakness of a currency or a stock, metals, in this whatsoever you trade in the future or presently, using economic data to analyze the market. That's what fundamental analysis means, using economic data to analyze the market. And under this fundamental analysis, we have the breaking news. We have so many types. But for today, before we go ahead, I would like you to know the common sites. There are common sites you have to know. There are common sites. So I didn't list all here. All they are not all listed here. Now you have to know about the forexfactory.com. You have to know about the investing.com. You have to know about forexlive.com. You have to know about babypips.com. You have to know about bloomberg.com, forex3.com. There are so many sites there. There are so many sites. Forex Live, there are so many of them. Forexlive.com, a whole lot of sites. But the truth is this: you do not need all to be profitable. You do not need all to be profitable. For me, I recommend the Forex Factory for you, investing.com for you, and the baby pips for you. So these three is okay for you: the forexfactory.com, the investing.com, and the babypips.com. Now note this: the impact of fundamentals or the impact of news in the market can never be overemphasized. They are so important that you could see it on your chart visible that this is as a result of news. If you've been trading, sometimes you see mighty long powerful candlesticks. You see mighty long powerful candlesticks. Those are as a result of news in the market. Could be as a result of breaking news, planned news, whatsoever news. Those long candlesticks you see on your chart, very long candlesticks, they are not a perfect candlesticks. They are as a result of news. They are formed as a result of news. So imagine where you're in the market and you are not putting news into consideration. What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? A single candlestick as a result of news can even give you a drawdown of over 100 pips. Can even give you a drawdown of over 100 pips. That's why it's very important to understand candlesticks, and also to understand the news and the fundamentals in the market. Now, for today, Okay, things to check for too. There are things that drives the market when it comes to the news. What are those ones that you have to consider, that you have to look out for in the market, or whenever the news is coming out? Everything affect almost virtually everything affects the market, but you have to look out for interest rate, interest rate, interest rate. A news on interest rate affects the market both whether negatively or positively. News on interest rate. And what does this interest rate, what does it for traders, how do they trade it? When interest rate is increased, investors tend to go for such currency, and when interest rate is reduced, what happen? Investors lose interest in such currency. CPI, consumer price index, is also affects and also has volatility to the market. Also have to look out for it. GDP, GDP, this about local production. It also tells how well an economy is doing, how well an economy is doing. So we have the NFP, non-farm payroll. You can also use it. It affects the market and influences the market. Employment slash unemployment rate. It has volatility to the market. So when employment rate, let's say for the new month, has increased, what do you think is happening now? As an investor, how do you think for employment to increase for the next month? It means that economy is doing well. It means the companies, they are doing well. For them to encourage more employment, they are doing well. Everything is working perfectly. For unemployment rate, when unemployment increases, what do you have? What do you need to know? It means there is a drop in in the welfare of the economy. So security and insecurity is also part of it. Now most persons will say why do you like security or insecurity? How does security affect the economy? How? Oh, let me tell you this. I put part of this because sometimes you might not see it written security or insecurity, but on your own, you can do the analysis on your own and check out what is actually happening. Now, let me take for instance, you wish to invest, and as an investor, you look at or you check a particular place. You look at a particular place. Let's say you want to invest in a particular country. You look at a particular place, um and you see that they have security issue. Insecurity level there is very high. Would you like to invest? No. And when you run away and you don't invest, what do you think will happen to the economy? Definitely, when insecurity is high, it makes investors to lose interest in that economy. And when investors lose interest in that economy, what do you think happens to employment? Employment drops. And when employment drops, the it also has impact on the currency of the economy. So the first website we are going to be talking about today is the forexfactory.com. I will take you through how to use it, the www.forexfactory.com. Now, before I go ahead, if you are this is your first time visiting the YouTube channel, do well to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button so that by the time I post other videos, you're gonna get them. Do well to subscribe for the channel and also share the videos. Alright, let's go ahead. So um so this is the forexfactory.com. Since I'm using the cell phone, so all you have to do is just to go to your Chrome or whatever browser you're using, key in www.forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com is going to bring you back to this page, forexfactory.com calendar. If you see calendar, you should be able to take you to this home page directly. So you get to this particular place. So if this is your first time visiting the site, so you can see how it looks like. You can see today is Thursday, February 23, February 2023, Thursday, February 2023. And if you look down, you're gonna see currencies here. You can see the JPY, you can see the Australian dollars, you can see the pound sterling, you can see the euro, you can see the Canadian dollars, you can see the USD, Chinese yen. So you can see a whole lot of currencies here, a whole lot of currencies here. Um, so that is it. Now when you visit the site, the first thing you do is to change your time. Look at this place, you can see the time here. You click on it, set it to your own time zone. Now I'm setting this to my own time zone since I'm talking from here. So GMT +1, West Central Africa. So I save settings. So after that you save settings, you can see it. The time now has changed. I have to go back to calendar. So this is it. um so this is it. You can see different currencies here. Now one thing is to know the site, another thing is to know how to make use of it and trade profitably. One thing is to know the site, another thing is to know how to make use of it and trade profitably. Now this is the news. I think this is for Friday, February 24th. That's tomorrow. This is the news for tomorrow. Now by the left hand side of your phone, you will see different time the news. You can see 12:30. On for the Friday, under the Friday, you can see 12:30, 1:01 a.m., 8 a.m. Yes, this is my own time, 2:30 p.m., 4 p.m. So under the Friday, you see different time. So what does the time mean? That is the time the news is gonna be released. These are the different times the news they are gonna be released. Then aside that, by the side, you also see different currencies. You can see the JPY, you can see the pound sterling, you can see the euro, you can see different currencies. So for the 12:30 a.m., which is on Friday, February 24th, for the JPY, there is a news coming at 12:30 a.m., that's midnight, for national core CPI for JPY. And on that same day, by 2:30, we have core PCE price index. On that same day, we have different news coming out on that same day. So let's take for instance the national core CPI for the Japanese yen, 12:30 on Friday. Some of us, we might not know what they are talking about. Okay, national core CPI, what does it mean? So all you have to do is just to click on it. So by the time you click on it, I believe you can now see previous, forecast, actual. Now by the side you also see a folder like stuff before you see the chart. So actual, forecast, previous, then you see a folder and the chart. So you click on the folder if you want to know more about the national core CPI. So I click on it. So you can see the source. What's the source? Statistics Bureau. Measures change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers excluding fresh food rather. So look at, this is what it measures: change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers excluding fresh food. So what's the usual effect? The usual effect, actual greater than forecast, is good for currency. What does the usual effect mean? It means, how do I trade it? Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. I believe you saw actual, forecast immediately I opened that the box, but I'm going to explain what the actual and forecast simply means too. We have the frequency. Frequency simply means how often is the news being released. How often is the news released? Now you can see the next release date is March 21st, 2023. That's the next release date. Then it's also called core CPI. It's also called national CPI x fresh food. Acro expand consumer price index. So if you want to read more, you can also read more. You can see the last time the news was released, what it was. Everything is just transparent. The most important thing is the ability for you to understand it. That's the most important thing. The ability for you to understand it. Now we also move ahead to the next thing, we have. So after knowing this, we move, you exit the details. So exit detail. Now actual, forecast, previous, the folder. The next question most of us will be asking is, what does actual mean? What does forecast mean? What does previous mean? Now previous simply means the last time this news was released, what was it? The last time, the very last time this news was released, what was it? Now the last time this news was released on national core CPI, it was 4.0%. Dat was the actual then. Now forecast is like anticipating the next time dis news will be released. They are forecasting. Professional traders, dey forecast, okay, since the last result was 4.0%, now we are now forecasting that the next one will be 4.3%. Dey forecast, you can forecast. Let's say for instance, in your economy, GDP has been very high, the country doing well, the state doing very well, and after a while there was pandemic. So for the last month, everything went fine, everything went very well. But after a while, you started seeing let's say pandemic ravaging the country, affecting the whole place. What do you think? What do you think will be the focus um for the next month without even being told? You should know that GDP will drop, local production will drop, especially when there is lockdown or places being locked. Definitely everywhere will be locked for that particular time, for that particular time, and production will be low. So that's what forecast. You forecast, okay, from what we've had, from the way things went last month, this is what is going to happen in the future. Now the actual will be released on that particular day and time. Let's say just on Friday, February 24th. So they say it's going to be released by 12:30 a.m. This news, 12:28 a.m. will not be released. 12:29 a.m. will not be released. The actual will only come out exactly the time stipulated on this site. That's the time it will be out. It's not like exam question, oh, it being leaked or whatsoever. No, it will be out exactly the time it is written on the site. Exactly the time written on the site, that's the time the actual will be out. Now depending on the type of trader you are, depending on the type of trader, alright, before I go to that, if you are in the market, and the news is about to be released, let's say by 12:30, try to protect your profit before the news is released. Better still, if you are in a profit, depending on the type of trader you are, take your profit and leave. Else, protect your profit before the news is out. In this market, you do not trade what you feel, you trade what you see. Don't assume that a news or a particular news will come out good, or a particular news will come out bad. No. Allow the news to be out by that particular time. Let's say 12:30, allow the news to be out at that particular time. You can now trade in favor or against the news. So that is what I actually wanted to say. Now depending on the type of trader you are, that's where the effect of the actual versus the forecast. So if you're a day trader or a short-term trader, what you'll be considering is the actual versus the forecasted data, not the previous data. When I open the detail, they say usual effect. Usual effect is how do you trade it, and is actual greater than forecast is good for currency. That was what is written here. So what it simply means is at that particular time, if the news is out and the actual is greater than the forecasted data, go ahead and buy JPY at that particular time. And at that particular time, if the forecast is less than the actual, what does this thing mean? Go ahead and buy that particular currency. And if the actual is less than the forecasted data, what does it mean? Go ahead and sell off that particular currency at that particular time. So that's what actual greater than forecast simply means. All currencies have their own actual, forecast and previous before it's being released. So you have the previous, forecast. The actual is usually the last to come out. The actual is usually the last to be out. On other things you can also do is, can also put your phone into the desktop site just this way. um okay, you can see the way it is. Yes, so you can shift your, so these ones, all these ones you are seeing here, they are already out. The actual, forecast, previous, they are already out. You can see detail, actual, forecast. So on that particular day and time, that's when you see the actual being, you can see for Friday we already have the previous and the forecasted data, but the actual data is not yet out. So we will have the previous, the forecasted, while you wait for the actual data. Remember, don't assume that a particular news will be coming out positive or negatively until that particular time. And when you are trading news, you have to be very fast and very careful. When you are trading news, you have to be very fast and very careful. You don't use the same cell phone or the same PC or laptop you use in trading to check for news. No. All these things happen per second. When you are trading news, all you have to do, have a particular laptop for your or for your trading, while a cell phone or another laptop for your news, to check your news, that's all you have to do. A particular laptop for your analysis, while on a particular laptop for your news. At that particular time, you go and refresh your page. You have to be fast enough to know when to enter the market. And when it comes to news, do not stay long in the market. Do not stay long in the market when it comes to news. If it goes in your favor and you're in the right direction, maximum 5 minutes exit the market, provided it's in your direction, because that market that has gone against or gone any or that has decided to go any direction will definitely come back, possibly come back. And when it comes back and you are still in the market, it might hit you hard, though most at times it doesn't come back. Depending on the structure of the market, the structure of the market will help you. When it comes to technical analysis, I will show you that. I'm going to be posting that on my page, on my YouTube channel. So that is it. Now, actual greater than forecast for employment, GDP, simply means you should go and buy that currency just like this. This one happened on Monday. You can see actual 0.9% is green, greater than the forecasted data 0.4%, which shows that it's good for that particular currency. What currency is this? This should be New Zealand dollar. Now the next question is this: when you get your chart, remember currencies are paired together. When you get your chart, you will always see NZD paired with USD or any other currency. You see NZD, USD, Euro NZD, NZD JPY. You always see that they will not stand alone. Now the question is this: when you get your chart and you see NZD paired with USD, NZD USD, and the actual is greater than the forecasted data, are you going to buy or sell? That's the first question. That's the question. Now, if the currency is the base currency, I thought about base and quote currency. If you don't know about base and quote currency, there is a video on quote and base and quote currency on this channel. All you have to do is just to watch it. If NZD is the base currency and actual is greater than forecasted data for employment, GDP, what do? You buy you buy it when they are paired with USD or any other currency pair, provided NZD is the base currency. And if is the quote currency, what do? You sell it off. You sell it off. If is the quote currency, what do? You sell it. If you are selling it, you are simply buying. When you are selling, you are simply buying. You are indirectly buying that currency I do not want to talk about base and quote currency here again, but you can always watch it. So when you get your chart, you have to consider base and quote currency very well. Base and quote currency, I know what I'm talking about. This base and quote currency is very, very important in the market. Very important in the market. If the actual is greater than the forecasted data and it's a positive result, let's say for GDP, whatever it is, and that particular currency is the base currency on the chart, what do? You buy. If that particular currency is the quote currency, what do? You sell. But if the news comes out to be negative, that particular currency is a base currency, what do? You sell. And if it's a quote currency, what do? You buy. There are so many websites you use to check for calendar, forex calendar, but forex factory is one of the common ones which I would like you to also use. Now, you among all the currencies you see here, the GBP, the Chinese yen, the euro, the Canadian dollars, the NZD, Australian dollar. Now I want you to put these four currencies into consideration. Put these four currencies into consideration. Always look at them. These are the ones, even though you don't check any other news coming out, you don't check any other one coming out, but this currency, don't joke with them and their news, because they definitely affect, they shake the whole market. They shake the whole market. The first news is the USD news. Any news coming out for United States dollar here, not the GBP, not the NZD, but any news coming out for United States dollar shakes the whole market, including the gold market, affects the whole market. So USD, number one. You have the euro, number two. You have the pounds, number three. You have the Canadian dollar, number four. So this news, these four currencies I mentioned for you, do not joke with them. Then you can also include the Australian dollars, the New Zealand dollar, virtually all the eight major currencies. Put them into consideration. Put all the eight major currencies into consideration. Then also, one thing is to know the site. One thing is to know about this site. Now, if you look at this site, you can see virtually after every hour a news is being released. Just like for the Friday, 12:30 we have a news, 1:01 a.m. you have a news, 8 a.m. you have a news. So does it mean we have to wait all the time? Because every time we have news, and I just say that if there is a news coming out, what do? You wait till the news is out, or you protect your profit, right? Okay. Now, the cheat code is this: you don't trade all the news. All the news. There are some news that are very much important here, and there are some of them that are not very much important, but they are also important. There are news that are very important. Now, before I go ahead, every morning before you trade, every day, you must come to this site as a trader. Whether you are using this for your calendar or you are using the investing.com for your calendar, try as much as possible to come here just to see the news coming out those days. Now, you don't need all the news here. You don't have to put all the news here into consideration per day. One thing is to know the site. The second thing is to know the news to trade. Now, this is the cheat code. You see the news, or the ones that come with a red box, just like the JPY on a red box. They are known as high impact news. They are the ones you should put more into consideration. While the orange color, the ones that comes with orange color, just like this, the USD here, new home sales, they are known as medium impact news. Remember the red one, high impact, that's why it's red. The USD, medium impact. While the yellow ones are low impact news, low impact news. While the white ones, look at the white ones, shows no impact at all. However, those ones that are medium impact, that doesn't mean you shouldn't put them into consideration. You can also put them into consideration. But there is more to the red ones than the medium ones and the yellow ones. So you have to put the medium and the yellow impact news. You have to hold it to high esteem. The high impact news, these are the ones you have to put into consideration. When the news is about to come out, you just have to put yourself and keep yourself in check. Just like the one coming out on Friday, 2:30 p.m. USD news. So USD news is like their king. Do not joke with them. You can see USD news core PCE price index. So you have to put it into consideration. So this is it here. Remember to subscribe to the channel and on your notification button. Also share, so that by the time I post new videos on my technical and chart patterns, you're gonna see them on the channel. So that is it for the calendar. Now a quick one, we're not going to open all the websites, but let me just introduce you to the investing.com and how it looks like. Investing.com, okay, and how it looks like. um Investing.com and how it looks like. So this is how the investing.com looks like. This is how it looks like. Here, one of the ways to grow your financial knowledge is coming to this place to read all this. You can see US stock wobble as rate fears outweigh strong earnings. So if I were you, I will be reading this, coming to this site just to be reading this. You can see US crude stock price up 7.7 million barrels last week. So all you have to do, all these things affect the market. All of them affect the market, not only the currency market. By the time you read, you also find some other comments below. You also find some other comments below. You also find some below, other comments below. Then this is not only about currencies alone. If you look at this, you can also see calendar here. When you go to market, you can see that it concerns both indices, forex, commodities, which has to do with oil and the rest, cryptocurrencies, stocks, bonds, ETFs. So they are very, very important for you to put them into consideration. If you do watch some local movies and the rest at home, do well to watch market news. They are going to help you and build your financial knowledge. All these things work hand in hand. You can't say you trade currencies alone without knowing how it correlates with um the metals, the gold, the silver, or how it correlates with commodities like the oil. Remember, when USD is buying, oil is selling, and when oil is selling, USD is buying. So do well. If you like the video, do well to share to your friends, and also stay posted for my other videos coming up on this channel. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, bye now.